Breaking news. Sean Diddy Combs, the bad boy founder, has started his road to rehabilitation. That's what must be done in order to get a lighter sentence. I see everybody making videos like he doing something wrong. He's getting ready to go in front of the judge. I'm going to break down the process because I've been through this very process 30 somewhat years ago. He's going to go in front of the judge, and the judge is going to ask, what have he been doing with his time to rehabilitate himself? Diddy has started taking domestic violence and a drug course in the joint. They also have parenting courses. I've taken a parenting course to learn how to be a parent, and I'm still a screwed up parent. But it helped a little bit, you know. Sit back, enjoy the ride. We're gonna break this down so you know what Diddy getting ready to go through and how his sentence gonna break down, why he may be home as soon as Thanksgiving with his family, and why what's her name, the Comey young lady, the prosecutor, was fired off of his case because she blew the Diddy case and she's allegedly related to, James Comey. So we're gonna speak on all that. Sit back and just enjoy the ride. Mm-hmm. All right, you know what it is. Yo, check it out, Rock. Diddy is he's reportedly enrolled in self-improvement programs while currently behind bars to make things easier for when he go in front the judge. The music mogul has reportedly enrolled in multiple self-help programs in prison. Diddy appears to be turning inwards as he faces the fallout from his explosive legal battles, but he won the RICO. Round of applause. That means he won't spend life in jail. Relax, y'all. Relax, y'all. Relax, y'all. Man, could y'all relax? That means he won't spend life in jail and he has a chance to rehabilitate himself and become a better citizen and parent to his children. Now, the rehab programs aim to address his drug use and violence against women. That's how they do it, because whatever your crime is, you have to take a course dealing with that. Like me, I was locked up for 330 kilos of cocaine. And while I was locked up for that, they told me I had to take a class for users when I was a dealer. But it's just because drugs is associated with it. Let's take a ride. I'm gonna take you on a good ride. They opened up a joint in Phoenix, Arizona, that they made a yard for people that do things against women and children, to put all of them together, because if they put them amongst the wolves, they'll be mauled. So they made a jail for them, and in order to fill up that jail, what they did was go through everyone what they call PSI. They get ready to do Diddy's PSI. PSI is where they put your history of family violence, your history of domestic violence, your history of child abuse, on you. Some people have been molested as a child, and that's why they did the things that wound up putting them in prison. And that's why it goes in front of the judge, and he looks at all of those, and those are mitigating and aggravating factors. Because when they look at your criminal history, if they see that you've been robbing, doing this and that, then that becomes what they call an aggravating factor. Aggravating factor means that this is what gets you more time, and mitigating is what gets you less time. So that's how that is. So Diddy right now is trying to mitigate his sentence by taking these programs. But when they could, I ain't forget we ride, because when they opened up the joint over there in Arizona, anyone that had a sex charge on their PSI had to go there. So if your co-defendant did something against a woman, but that's your co-defendant, and it happened on the case you're on, even though you wasn't charged with it or nothing, they wound up sending you there as well. So good men was being sent there, and people is now looking at them like if they got a charge against women or children because they're in this jail. but they also send people there that they feel has been doing good, rehabilitated, that would be able to help mold them and work with them. And then they make programs and put the men in the program that have their life together, that's been rehabilitated, but is still serving a lengthy sentence, to work with the brothers coming in that's having a hard time. Do we understand what I'm saying there? So just by having a charge on your jacket, like Diddy having his charge on his jacket, he would have wound up in Tucson, is the moral of the story. Now, according to TMZ, the 57-year-old music mogul has enrolled in multiple self-help therapy programs while awaiting sentencing in Brooklyn, the Metropolitan Detention Center. Among them is the STOP program. The STOP program is a new program they got, which is a course that the government offers inmates, which focuses on preventing sexual assault, domestic abuse, and dating. So they give these classes, and when he complete this and he go in front of the judge, so if he's looking at, and he's going to be looking at the low end, which is 11 months to 24 months. So now that's a mitigating factor that would drop his the sentence that they would give him, because he could show that he's in there taking this STOP program to help what wound up putting him in there. And by the time he goes in front of the judge, he will have completed this program. So that's definitely going to help him with keeping his sentence be, within that first time offenders category, instead of the high end that the government is trying to put him at. Now, remember, right? Cause we ride. They got Diddy down for being a John. When have you ever seen a John? When have you ever seen somebody, a John is somebody spend money on a female? When have you ever seen somebody that spend money on a female get 10 years in jail? They normally don't even be charged. It normally be the other way around, where the female that's selling herself is charged. The John normally gets a little misdemeanor because, he's just spending his money, or for whatever reason, however the law is written up. But in Diddy's case, it's a whole lot different, because right now, they're telling him that he's looking at 10 years. So the judge told the defense and the prosecution, both of y'all go back and show me sentences how a person with this type of charge is normally sentenced, to prove your point. So the government is going to look for cases that's going to show that Diddy, that someone else got, 8 years, 9 years, 6 years, for the same type of charge. And then his lawyers is going to show that no, they normally stay within the low end of their guideline range, because we know you can't go below the guideline range, Your Honor. So that's how that play out, so you could fully understand where I'm coming from. So now we got that going on, right? So he's also reportedly continuing drug abuse therapy, which he has been enrolled in since before his arrest. So he already went into drug courses before he got arrested, right? And he's continuing to do that. So that goes with his mitigating factors as well. The outlet also says he is he's undergoing therapy and is in the Dr. Henry K. Waxler drug abuse program. All that is going to look so good for him. Diddy may be home that day or by Thanksgiving. Because if he got 11 months, he already got 12 in. And off 11 months, you wind up getting at least a month or two off. So he's already over it if they give him the low end. So there's a chance he may walk out. For all you Diddy haters, just letting you know, he's not getting life, so he will be back out there. And it is what it is. And y'all put in the comments if you think Diddy going back up top, on the top of the chart. And let me ask y'all this, because we ride. If Diddy was to come home before Thanksgiving, right, and he threw a big Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's concert, would you go? If Diddy threw a concert when he came home in your biggest arena in your state, would you go? Huh? Let's see if everybody gonna keep it gangster, So now, he had allegedly been part of a drug treatment since before he was arrested in September 2024, and has continued behind bars. So like I said, all that looked good on him. Insiders told the outlet that Combs is trying to better himself and work towards redemption behind bars. Earlier this month, The Revolt co-founder was acquitted of the most serious charges in his high-profile sex trafficking charge. But the court did convict him of the counts of prostitution, each of which carries 10 years. He faces a maximum of 20 years, but that's if they run it consecutive, which they never do. So that's out the question, on October 3rd when he gets sentenced. Though he'll likely get a far lighter sentence than the 10 years, wherein the potential range of 15 months to 5 years because of more lenient sentencing guidelines. I still think he'll get way less than that 5 years. I don't think he's going to get more than 2 years. I don't even think he's going to get 2 years. Throughout his trial, the jurors heard graphic testimony from several witnesses, including Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Cassie Ventura. She alleged that the rapper raped and physically abused her during their 10-year relationship. Okay? Now, y'all heard how that played out at the trial. What do y'all think now about Cassie's testimony and the things you heard that she did as far as with the participation with all this that went on with Diddy? But the self-described cynical and jaded Romani defense attorney said he sees the programs as Combs and his defense team's effort to clinch a lenient penalty on the disgraced mogul's, day of judgment. You see how they had to throw him a shot? That's why I started reading that. They had to show him a shot with that. He's a disgraced mogul and he's everything else under the sun. But I just want to know, where's all these juveniles they were talking about? Where's these freak-offs? Where's all these big stars' names? Where's all this stuff that we was all hyped and ready to go at? Y'all tell me so I understand where all this is at, because none of this makes sense to me. All right? So now, these are calculated legal and PR moves, said Rani, right? Now a criminal defense lawyer. Now this is a criminal defense lawyer talking like a prosecutor, and instead of, he'll do the same thing. Rami, you would do the same thing for your client. If y'all know Rami, you told him to challenge me on that. I put my life on it. He'll tell his client to do the same thing that Diddy's doing, but now he's talking like a prosecutor and talking against Diddy for doing the very thing that he'll tell his client to do. Combs, who has also founded the Sean John fashion line, wants to show Judge Abrun Subiani that he's accepted responsibility, that he's willing to change, and that he's not going to reoffend, Romani said, noting one of the mitigating factors of sentences is the defendant accept responsibility. So therefore, he's looking at time, cut for the now the acceptance of responsibility and for the drug programs. So that's where his sentence is going to go down from that. And we're talking about working down from 24 months. So you understand. Combs wants to demonstrate that the crime he committed were all drug and mental health related, the lawyer said, right? So now it's lawyering one-on-one, Riani said. I'm completely cynical. This is all gamesmanship, the attorney said. Combs' lawyers are doing their job. Thank you. At least she finally said something to the truth. They are trying to minimize the client's sentence exposure. Exactly. So then why would you sit there yell all this disgrace mogul and all of this while you're talking about the man? Stop it. Combs' lawyers have said at prior bail hearings that before the rapper's September arrest, he has been enrolled in a batters program at the Urban Resource Institute in New York. He went to meetings. He participated. Defense attorney, defense lawyer Mark Alvarfello said on July 2nd in arguing for Combs to be released after mixed verdict, right? That's after he beat the RICO. The judge can choose whether to follow federal sentencing guidelines, which lawyers on both sides would handle over in the lead of the hearing. So at the beginning of the hearing, they both going to hand over sides why Diddy should get less time, his lawyer's going to hand over, and why he should get more time, prosecutor's going to handle. Now, initially, Combs' lawyers said they believe the guideline range for their client is between 15 and 21 months, while prosecutors have argued the range should be at least 4 to 5 years. Both sides will give their final estimates in court papers while submitting them before sentencing, and the judge is going to look it over. The Federal Probation Department, that's who put together the PSI, will also make a determination for where it believes the guidelines lay for Combs when the weight in favors such as criminal history. And I'm letting you know now, 9 times out of 10, the probation office is going to side with the government. So if the government say they want 4 to 5 years, that's what they're going to recommend. The judge already know that's what they do because they all work together. The prosecutor's the one who gets these public defenders their jobs by sending the clients over to them. So they basically working for the public defender, right? That's the way this normally plays out. Now, the judge will ultimately take the options from the prosecution, the defense, and the probation to determine what he believed the guidelines should be. Because the guidelines is where the range come in to where they're going to do that. Romani, the hating lawyer from earlier, said that since Subarani is fairly new to overseeing a criminal case and previously presided over civil matters, there isn't a long track record of sentencing to pull from to see whether the judge tends to be lenient or harsh. Good point. In other words, Subiani haven't done any real cases, haven't done any criminal cases like this. So you can't look back at previous sentences that Subiani may have done to say, okay, well, he's going to sentence him this way because he sentenced somebody that had a similar charge this way. This is like his first, so it's like his cherry breaking, you know, no pun intended. So that's where it's at. I don't think there's a ton of sentencing history when it comes to this judge. Romani said some of these former civil judges tend to be softer. So they're saying that the civil judge is usually softer because they're more empathetic to the people that come in front of them, because a lot of them be people that lose their property and things like that. So that's where we going at with it. So what do you think should happen at Diddy's sentence? Do you think he should get the max, or do you think he should get what the guidelines and what his mitigating factors, you know, support? Because don't forget, it's still Diddy, because the mitigating factors support him getting about 15 months. If he get that, he got 12 months in on it. He going to get at least 90 days credit, and that's the 90 days that he's supposed to serve. And then when he get the mitigating factors for the drug abuse and, you know, the sex offender joint, and he can show that he started it from the outside and that he continued it and completed it on the inside, he'll be looking real good. Now, they fired Jane, because we ride. Now, they fired James Comey's daughter, right? So being that they fired his daughter, rumor is that she lost the Diddy case and they peed at her, and then don't forget she was the one on the Epstein case as well. So therefore they peed at her also, that now there's no list and it's a big hoopla over the list and what should happen with that. But, you know, that's not in my field. So I'm going to sit back. I hope y'all enjoyed the ride. I enjoyed riding with y'all. Make sure y'all go check out the video when I went to D.C. down there with the lynch mob. It's the one I put up right before this. All right? Fire. Make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel as well, Juanita Mech Audio. All right? Now, so my daughter's YouTube channel should be up there right now. Right? So that's my daughter's YouTube channel, Juanita Mech Audio, and my phone number if you want to call me if there's an issue, or if you got a story you want to tell, you can send the link to the video that you watched to this number right here. All right, 917-680-9091. All right, so let me tap out. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in. Let's keep it moving.